Wolfgang Van Halen grew up in the shadow of his legendary father, Eddie Van Halen, one of the greatest guitarists in history. But despite the fame, Wolfgang's journey was marked not by a desire to replicate his father's success, but by a deep, quiet love for music. The story of Wolfgang is a unique one, filled with challenges, loss, and a path carved by personal growth, not the weight of expectations. Born into a world of rock and fame, Wolfgang Van Halen was always immersed in music. His father, Eddie, was a revolutionary force in rock, but at home, he was just Dad. Always playing music, always exploring sound, but never pushing his son into it. Eddie's approach was simple: let Wolfgang find his own way. And that's exactly what he did. Wolfgang didn't take formal lessons. Instead, he explored drums on his own at age 9, and by his 10th birthday, Eddie gifted him his first drum set. This gesture wasn't just about music. It was an invitation to share something intimate, to bond through the language of rhythm. But Wolfgang didn't stop with drums. He picked up guitar, bass, and piano, learning them not out of a sense of obligation, but pure curiosity. By the time he was 15, he wasn't just a fan of Van Halen's music. He was playing along with it, soaking up every note, and eventually joined the band as their bassist. Some saw it as nepotism, but those close to him understood it was anything but. This wasn't about leveraging his father's fame. It was about Wolfgang finding his own space within a band he knew like the back of his hand. His playing was tight, mature, and full of respect for the music Eddie created, but never derivative. In 2012, when Van Halen released A Different Kind of Truth, Wolfgang's contribution was more than just bass lines. It was the sound of a son honoring his father through music. But as his musical journey progressed, so did the weight of Eddie's declining health. As his father faced cancer treatments, Wolfgang was there, not just as a bandmate, but as a son, watching the man who had taught him everything grow frail. Despite the pressure, they shared precious moments on stage, performing together as a family in front of the world. But as Eddie's health worsened, it became clear that Wolfgang's journey would not be a straightforward one. Eddie's struggles with addiction, perfectionism, and health issues colored Wolfgang's upbringing. Yet through it all, Eddie remained deeply present for his son. It wasn't easy, and there were difficult times, but the bond between them remained strong. Even as Eddie faced his own demons, he never stopped nurturing Wolfgang's love for music. Eddie's passing in 2020 left Wolfgang devastated. Losing his father, his closest collaborator, was the hardest thing he'd ever faced. In the aftermath of the loss, Wolfgang made a decision that shocked many. He refused to play Van Halen's songs live. To him, playing those songs without his father wasn't honoring the legacy. It felt like pretending. Instead, he chose to forge his own path with his solo project, Mammoth WVH. The first single, Distance, was written during the final months of Eddie's life and became a deeply personal tribute. The music video, a montage of home footage, captured intimate moments between father and son, showing Eddie not as the guitar god, but as the dad who played, laughed, and loved with his son. In a world where legacy often feels like a burden, Wolfgang Van Halen is proving that honoring a great person doesn't mean living in their shadow. It means building something true, something that stands on its own, while never forgetting the roots that helped it grow.